Hey,
Hi,
the little
Barb.
red light just came on, Cynthia.
You're being recorded.
Hey, hi, everybody.
Hello. This is welcome to River City Yarns podcast on, and
Right?
I'm trying to remember what episode it is.
Episode, oh, it's got to be like 42 or something, doesn't it?
You introduce us while I look it up, okay?
Okay.
Distracted.
Hi, everybody. I'm Barb, and this is my sister Cynthia, and we have a podcast, a video podcast from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We have a local yarn shop here in Edmonton, which hasn't been open since March. It feels so empty in here, but we come to you once a month and chat about kind of what we're working on, what's new events that we're having, and yes, we're having events. They're just virtual, and kind of what's going on in the yarn world here in Edmonton. So, Cynthia, did you find out what episode this is?
Yeah, I'm just now on our website. So it's episode 42.
It is 42. Okay, that's great. I got something right today.
It's the episode that's exactly the same as my age, Barb.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm a little bit older, just a little bit older than 42. But I have to tell you, I was talking to one of my new favorite customers is a lovely lady who is 92, and she lives in a seniors residence in the middle of Edmonton, and she's not allowed to leave her building. So we developed this lovely relationship over the phone, and she orders things, and a couple of times I've gone and dropped them off. And anyway, long story short, she doesn't have a credit card, so she can't order over the phone. But she has a beautiful daughter in Montreal who calls me and pays for her mother's order.
Aww.
It's really nice. So her daughter and I have spent a fair bit of time talking on the phone as well. And Mom, Teresa, told me that her daughter told her that by judging by my voice, that I must be in my 40s. And I told Teresa, well, thank you. That's so nice of you.
That is nice. That is nice. Yes. So that means if you're 42, then I'm 52.
Right?
I like that.
So if nothing else, Barb, we have youthful voices.
Yes. Well, that's good. Yeah. Because I don't know, COVID, I don't think has been very kind to me. I feel like, some days I wake up and I go, oh my God, I feel like I've aged quite a bit during COVID.
Why do you feel that way? You said,
well, I don't know. Maybe it's just that some days I don't put on makeup and I scare myself when I look in the mirror. So, I think it's really important to still take care of yourself, to dress up and I think we have a tendency to not do that.
It's true. More of us are working from home. I mean, you and I are working in the store. So we're not really working from home. We have to, but we're working in the store.
You think to yourself, well, I'm going into the store, but I'm not going to see anybody, right? I'll talk to a bunch of people. So I can wear sweats or shorts
or pajamas
and forget putting on makeup. But, I feel so much better when I do put on makeup. So I have to remember to do that more often.
Yeah. You're right. And I heard too on the news that the amount of counseling that's required for people of all ages has risen. That this is, and I've felt it too. I think I told you, there are some days when I just feel down. I've been really, really lucky in my life in that I've never really struggled with depression, but I do feel like the isolation and the stress involved with trying to go out, like buying groceries these days is stressful because you have to plan ahead, you have to wear a mask, you have to sanitize before you go in, you have to sanitize before you go out. And there's still, even wearing a mask doesn't mean that you're protected, right? It's
Right. Honey,
so
honey, you just got to send your husband.
I do, but I'm just saying, like I'm really sympathetic with the, with shoppers,
Yes.
and that's part of what you and I are trying to figure out with regard to our store is how
Mhm.
best to protect our shoppers and our staff and ourselves in this time because there are just so many unknowns and it is stressful.
Well, are you going out?
Um, a little bit, but I am wearing a mask. So I went out and I got my hair. Look, Barb, I got
Yes.
my I got my hair fixed by my lovely daughter. I went to her salon and I wore a mask and I sanitized and um, she was very careful about cleaning out the sink and the chair and everything in between all the customers. So I am going out, but I really feel like it's important to um, to just be very careful and conscious of all the
Mhm.
other people around me.
Have you gone grocery shopping?
I have not. My husband has done all the grocery shopping. How about you?
Yeah. I've shopped online, Cynthia, almost exclusively. There's a little Italian store that Mario goes to because there's some things we can't get uh, at, Superstore, or Walmart even has an online grocery shopping thing. And so we've been doing that. It's so convenient. You drive up to the store and phone them and say, "Here I am," and they bring everything out to you.
Right.
And we
And
order like once a week or maybe twice a week.
yeah,
So if we don't get something one time, we can usually get it the next.
right.
And I'm telling you, I don't mind that.
And it's what we've been trying to do as well, right? It's make online shopping as convenient as possible. And so
Hmm.
we've and there are lots of concerns about that. Is the color, what is the color? I don't know if I'm seeing it
Yeah,
correctly on my computer. So we're taking photographs and taking two different colors and the three colors and lining them up together so the color you want is in the middle, and that way you can see it in contrast with other colors.
right.
So all the things that
Yeah.
we would normally do in the store, we're
I
doing.
thought you were talking about your broccoli.
My broccoli.
Like the color of your vegetables. Are my tomatoes red or are they green? Sorry, I thought we were still on groceries. You're over to yarn.
It's all about me, Barb. It's always
Yeah.
all about me.
Yes, we are doing a lot of extra kind of chatting about yarn and colors. And, we don't have the touch factor built into the online store yet. Although I think we need to have a category for that,
Right,
rating all of our yarns from 1 to 5 or something.
right. And then so it might have to have the Cynthia rating and the Barb rating because uh,
Well, I can tell you, we have a couple of yarns that are just uber soft. And so if we
right.
rate everything else against those two, we should be really good.
Maybe
The
we
softest yarn in the world is got to be Cumulus from
yes,
Juniper.
yes. So maybe we rate it like princess soft and farm girl soft or something like
Oh,
that.
you
Not
got to be real careful with the naming convention. I think I'd rather go with numbers.
that's true. You're right. Yeah, yeah. Don't
Yeah.
want to don't want to scare anybody off or insult
No.
anybody there. I say that because we're farm girls, and so we're used to a little more scratchy hay than maybe the city girls are. But anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea, Barb. So the other sort of outcome of COVID is that we're all spending a lot more time crafting at home.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
the last time we met, I didn't have very many FOs because I was busy. I was busy with the crochet along. And so and ripping out my work.
Yes.
But I have a bunch of FOs this time around.
Well, let's show them.
Shall I start us off?
Yeah. Start us off.
Okay, so remember we had this beautiful flash mob called Emerald City, and I told you that my husband, I'm just going to switch views here. I told you that my husband wanted some socks made out of Emerald City, so here they are.
You're done. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. So you're done a pair. Here, I thought you might just have one. He has, I'm sure, size 13 feet.
Right. He has a size 11, he wears size 11 shoes, and his feet are 12 inches from heel to toe, or his shoes are 12 inches from heel to toe. And so I made him two very giant socks, and I ran out of yarn right here.
Oh,
So I had to go and get another ball of Emerald City, and this is you can't really even tell, but it is a slightly darker tone than the one underneath it, and
yeah.
that's a consequence of hand dyed yarn, and so you need to take that into account. So if
Well,
I could have pulled it back a little bbit and striped it in up to the toe, and then it would have been more consistent. But he doesn't mind.
that's a pretty good testament to a skein of Emerald City too. Ginger Snap, that's a pretty nice, generous skein to be able to get a huge pair of socks like that out of
Yes,
0.99.
yeah, and I could have done it different. I did my socks from the cuff to the toe. So if I was going to run out, it would be at the toe. I could have done them the other way, and I made a long leg on it. I made an 8-inch leg, which is longer than
Yeah,
usual as well because he's a tall guy.
yeah.
So that's finished, and I'm on this sock kick, Barb. So I did another pair. Now,
What's those out of?
what's interesting about these ones is that, so this is an ancient arts yarn called Forget Me Not. It's sock NATO. And what I did was use up some little leftover balls of yarn. So this one is 1 row stripes with Forget Me Not and a navy blue leftover of probably Richard DeVries in the navy. And this one is the same yarn, Forget Me Not, but with a purple yarn from Sun Valley Fibers. And
Oh,
so
wow.
they're the same but different. And
Yeah.
these socks fit my feet, or who knows, your birthday is coming up, maybe they fit your feet. And then,
Lovely.
okay, I'm just going to pop really quickly into whips. Remember, I only used a little bit of that skein of Emerald City. So, and here is the Forget Me Nots. And when you look at them together, they look a little like you wouldn't probably put those two colors together in a sock unless you do 1 row stripes.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
I think
How-
this is Yeah, I think this is a testament to the idea that you can put any two colors together. So this is Emerald City all by itself, and then this is Forget Me Nots and Emerald City held together, 1 row stripes, and that's elliptical striping. Look that one up, or
Wow.
helical striping.
Very nice. For a moment there, I thought it looked a little like Vancouver, our hat trick Vancouver.
Yeah, but this one, Forget Me Nots, has pink in it. Like pink and green and purple.
Oh,
They all go nicely together as solids, but would they go nicely together as variegated yarns? I think the experiment proved that as long as you do 1 row stripes, you can pretty much put any two colors together. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
that's great.
Do you have any finished objects?
Oh, well, yeah, I think I do. I've got, I did this. This was my crochet as well. We've been doing a lot of crochet. I know there's a few people out there who think that, we don't do enough crochet, but we really do. We've been doing a lot of crochet this year. And this is a little basket. This fits on my night table. My bedroom is all kind of beachy. It's all white with some sand-colored furniture, and then I have turquoise as a pop accent in my bedroom. And so this sits on my night table, and it holds some jewelry and little containers, pair of sunglasses, and this is done in El Lino. No, BC Garn, linen. What's the name of it?
BC Lino.
Lino, yes. So this was a lot of fun. I love these floppy baskets. And then remember last month we did the Boredom Buster Box? Well, this was the little cross body bag that I did with the little Boredom Buster Box came with a skein of white and black. And this was intended to be a little bag that you could just put a cell phone in. Right now it's holding leftovers of yarn, and it's just got a little closure with a little button. But this is now just holding my project yarn. And this was crocheted with a really nice linen. I think we have a couple of kits left, but this is what the Boredom Buster Box looks like. So you get a couple skeins of yarn. The pattern was included in here, and then some little treats. We've got some River City Yarns pins in this one and some candy. And so these were really a lot of fun.
Oh, that's really nice. And that kit is done with Chopel El Lineo.
Yes, slightly different yarn. So what we're going to do with those is we had to take a little break because we had our Canada Day sale for the last 10 days. And so now we're back to these boxes, ideas for people to have something to do during this time. Something that takes, your thoughts off all the other stuff that is going on and helps you focus just on maybe something meditative or relaxing. We don't try and do anything too difficult, although that may change. But what you get is you get the yarn, a pattern, and some little treats, some motivation to keep you going.
Oh, Barb, those cross-body bags from Church Mouse Yarns and Tea are really nice.
They are fun. You've made a couple, right?
I have. Well, I've made one. I took apart one because I wasn't counting, but I made this one, and it's just like yours. It's a little pouch that I can put my phone in, and I made this one out of Barocco Medina. I'm having a little love affair with Barocco Medina. I'll show you a little bit later something else I've got going on. But yeah, I think the Boredom Buster boxes are a really good idea. They've been quite popular with folks. And if you want one, you just have to type boredom into our online store, and the boxes will show up there. So,
right.
So you think that's it for your finished objects?
I think so, Cynthia. I have a sock. Okay, I was doing a Boredom Bust project, so I was doing a sample sock. Does that count?
Yeah. Are you going to show it, or is it a secret?
Yeah. No, I think I'll show it because what the heck? The patterns on our website.
This is an upcoming Boredom Buster box.
Right. So we've been getting a lot of interest in boot socks or hiking socks, socks for camping. So this is a great little pattern that you designed, right, Cynthia? Yeah. And so I just knit up this sock, and this is out of our Epic yarn. So this yarn, you guys, is so nice for cushy camping socks or hiking socks. It's the perfect weight. And I just had a couple of colors. So I did a gold stripe. You start off with a knitted cuff, like a ribbed cuff. And then I did a couple of stripes, and then I turned my heel. And then I went down into the foot and finished off with the toe and put a couple of stripes. That was Sabrina's suggestion. And I really like it. It fits perfect. And now I just have to do sock number 2. It's started already.
Good for you. And tell us about the toe. I see you've got a different toe closure.
Yes. This toe closure I learned how to do in the little workshop that I did with you online. So it's just a 3-needle bind off. And it feels really nice inside. You can't really feel it inside.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I was going to do Kitchener graft, but I cut my yarn too short. And so it didn't have enough. So I had to go back and piece it. And I thought, just do a 3-needle bind off. What the heck? These are boot socks, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And once you get your foot in there, I don't think you can see it.
No,
Hmm.
it'll be great. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We'll have an upcoming boredom box on camping socks or hiking socks.
We've got a
Yeah,
few plans coming up for Boredom Buster boxes.
we
Uh,
do.
this
Like
month,
this one.
yes, this month is a special month at River City Yarns. It's our Christmas in July month. So every year in July, we spend a little bit of time working ahead on Christmas things so that we can get those out of the way and really enjoy the Christmas season the way it was intended to be enjoyed,
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And at the same time, we're also participating in the 4-day knit along, the sweater knit along with Marie Green.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want whips?
Yeah. I've got my, I've got my 4-day, I've got my 4-day
Wow.
sweater. In fact, I just this morning put it on waste yarn so that I could try it on and see how it's fitting.
Wow. Can you
Yeah.
put it on
I,
and show us?
I can, yeah. So I'm using Patagonia Juniper Moon Farms Patagonia Organic Merino, and yarn from a another yarn from a previous Flashmob. It's a Study in Scarlet, and I've used it to create a gradient yoke.
Cynthia, that looks amazing.
What do you think?
I love it. I absolutely love it. You know, we all have gradient kits in our stash, right?
Yeah,
How it's so pretty. It goes, yeah, from, a light pink down to a really deep red. It's beautiful.
yeah.
And what color is your Patagonia?
The Patagonia is it's an eggplant color. I believe it's called violet online. I'll check and make sure. And then we still have some of these gradient kits left if you want to do this color combination as well. And it's the gradient kit's a fingering weight and the Patagonia is a DK weight. But as you can see, it's working out really nicely. And I put it on waste yarn so I could kind of check and see how I was doing for increases. I originally started off with a bigger size, and I think I'm going to not carry on with that size. I'm gonna go down a size and just adjust my increases so that I end a little bit earlier. But yeah, I'm very happy with it, and I might even block it now because you can see the edges want to curl up. But now that I've got it on waste yarn, I can just get it wet and lay flat to dry, and just double check my gauge before I move on. So yeah, that's where I am with my 4-day knit along.
Nice. That's a smart idea to, go ahead and put it on waste yarn and try it on. Because just looking at it, Cynthia, it looks to me like you're done your increases. It's wide enough. And
Yeah,
you can get it over your shoulders like that. And then the other thing that I was thinking about is how interesting it is that you're using fingering weight for those color stripes, and the rest of the sweater is I think it's DK, correct?
that's right. The pattern is written for a DK weight yarn, and
Mhm.
I originally I swatched it out with holding my fingering weight double stranded, and I had two concerns. One was that I was going to run out of yarn, and the second concern was that it was a little bunchy in my stitches, and
Well,
so
and you'd lose the gradient effect too if you go double stranded. Oh, you mean with the same color?
yeah, yeah. And so I went back to doing it single stranded, and I think it's working. I think it's working better for me that way. It's not quite so tight and bunchy in there, but swatching, it makes it's important to do that and
Mhm.
to figure things out before you go ahead and start knitting hundreds and hundreds of stitches. Yeah. How about you? Did you bring yours along?
I did. So here's mine. I don't know if you can see it or not. Can you see it? Yeah. So this is the same sweater done in Rowan felted tweed up top. This is one of the new colors. I think it's 803 Winter Sky, I think. It's one of the uh, colors from, I want to say Lisa Richardson, or one of the designers came up with these colors. And then the other color is Noro. I wanted to go gradient or transition too. And I love Noro's yarns. So this one is Mirai, and it's a cotton and silk and viscose blend that subtly shifts. And I'm loving it. It's just a great fun knit. I need to go down to a bigger needle now, but this is it. And I didn't do anything on it last night. I just worked on my socks instead. Yeah, I think this idea is very fun, right? Like a sweater in 4 days. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Or the equivalent of 4 days. We're taking the whole month to do it, but setting aside 4 days or maybe a little bit more. You know, if your size is a little bigger, you're allowed to have more time. And just setting that time aside so you can do this project without killing your fingers, right?
Right.
I love your colors. They're beautiful.
Thank you. And I love the felted tweed and the Noro. The combination together is really nice. And I feel like the fabric is going to be nice and light. I didn't want a sweater that would be too heavy or too hot. So I'm really happy using the felted tweed.
So maybe what we should do, Barb, is go on to Ravelry and post some pictures there of our progress and document the yarns that we're using so that if anybody else was interested in following along or doing something similar, they could go there and see that. What do you think?
I need someone to do my Ravelry for me. I would gladly send them pictures.
Just give me your login credentials and I'll your page for you.
Like you don't have enough to do.
Like you don't trust me. Or maybe you should.
We should talk about what you're wearing. What I'm wearing.
Yeah. So we're both wearing our over the Willamette shawls. And these are gorgeous crocheted shawls, and we're wearing them because it's a beautiful summer day here, but it's still a little chilly, and also because we're doing some more Zoom classes, and Heather, we put up some dates for a new we call it Crochet from a Chart class. Online, I've called it Crochet a Shawl from a Chart class, just to be clear about it. So the project is a shawl, but you're going to use a chart or learn how to use a chart. There are written instructions as well, but if you use the chart, you'll learn some skills that will really help you in your crochet career, because it will allow you to read patterns from Japanese and Russian designers, and they're putting a lot of crochet ideas online, which is great. So Heather's doing a crochet from a chart class on Zoom. You can sign up for it on our webpage. And the small version takes 1 skein of fingering weight yarn. But if you want to do a larger version, like I have, you can pull out 2 skeins of a fingering weight yarn and use them to create color striping in your shawl. Tell us about yours, Barb. What did you use when you crocheted yours?
Yeah, I used Julie Aslin Nurtured Fine. So it comes in a cone. It's a Rambouillet blend, and she has it in a couple of different weights, but I used the really fine one on the cone. And I loved it. It's kind of lacy and meshy. It doesn't feel like really, really, warm at all. It just feels like a nice hug, in the summertime. Just something to keep the chill off your shoulders.
Yeah, and crocheting, I don't know about you, but crocheting a shawl from a chart made me very happy about crocheting a shawl or about creating a shawl. I'm not a big shawl knitter, but because the charts are complicated and you have to, do yarn overs and decreases, I found crocheting a shawl was so much easier and less stressful than knitting a shawl.
Well, I like it too if you're doing something that's lacy, Cynthia, because, sometimes crochet can give you that really lacy look. You can do a lot of really interesting things in the round, like circles and shapes like that with crochet that are maybe a little more difficult to do in knitting.
Yeah, agreed. And then we just finished up another class. Heather did the crochet a French market bag class online. And so this
Wow.
last Saturday, we just finished up that class. So I'm still working on my handles here, but this is my French market bag, again, done in Barocco Medina. So you get these lovely stripes and colorful mesh in the bag. And then the handles are also variegated. So I have a few more rounds to go on here, but I just love the size and the color of this yarn.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Are the sides going to be kind of open like that, or do they get sewn together?
The sides, so the opening, so it's going to get smaller in here. Along the sides, it'll get smaller, but it does open up quite large. Heather has some great tips though in the class. If you want to modify your bag to make the opening smaller, she includes some how-tos to hack the pattern. Very simple details on how to make those changes. So she'll tell you about how to make the handles longer, how to make the opening less wide, all those good things.
So how do we get in on that if we want to sign up for it?
So just go to our website, click on classes or events, and the crochet classes are listed right there. Can't miss them.
I love that bag.
Yeah, if you want to find workshops and you're not sure where to find them, just type the word workshop in the search bar, and all kinds of wonderful things will show up. You know what, Barb? I took the class. I took this last session with Heather. I acted as a moderator on the Zoom session, and I had so much fun. The advantage of taking a class, even if you feel like, oh, I'm not so sure about doing a class online, will I follow along? It's great. Heather asks questions, make sure everybody's in the right place before she starts a new section. But we also record the classes, and they're available for you to review for a couple of weeks after the class ends. So if you did miss something, or if you're working on your homework and you need to review a section, those classes are on a private link to our YouTube station. So they're there for you. But it just keeps you on track. There's no way I would have, look at my success rate with all the Church Most Crocheted projects. I got one basket and one pouch done, and I have a couple of other projects still in my whip pile. But when you take a workshop and you have homework, guess what happens? You finish.
Yeah, it's a great inspiration, that's for sure.
Yeah. I also wanted to remind people, while we're on the topic of workshops, just quickly, I wanted to remind people that we also have a link to a free class from Rowan. It's called Kids Learn to Knit. And they've got a program running with about 5 sessions on it that you can take. And you just need a ball of chunky wool, like Rowan Big Wool, and some 10 millimeter knitting needles. And so if you go to our workshops page on our online store, you'll find more information about that event as well. It's free of charge. Minimal requirements, and kids can learn to knit. I mean, you could be an adult learning to knit on the Rowan Kids Learn to Knit program.
Well, and what great timing, because what do you do with your kids all summer long? I know Sabrina was like going nuts thinking about, the kids they don't even want to really go outside. It's hard to get them to do things. So something like this, where you can pick up some needles and yarn and they can create something, is, I think, not only entertaining, but very learning something new too, which is really important,
right?
Especially for teens.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of learning something new, we also have an upcoming Fiberside chat with German designer Isabel Kramer.
Oh my God, I'm so excited about that. We saw Isabel when we were at an Ann Budd knitting retreat, and she's amazing. I did a little sample sweater where we knit the sleeves in, And it was just such a great learning opportunity to try something different. All her sweaters are beautiful.
Right. And these fiberside chats they're not classes. So there's no stress or pressure involved with that. These are 1 hour conversations with creators. They're not all knitters. They're not all crocheters. They might be weavers. They might be sewers, but they're designers that we admire, and so they're hanging out with us for an hour, talking about their lives and their new designs and their projects and where they are. So it's what a wonderful opportunity to get to know someone differently, not so much as a teacher, but as a person.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And these are hosted at a shop in Colorado. Longmont Yarns hosts them. And then there's stores all over the country like ours that jump in on it. So you can sign up in the US, you're paying US dollars, or you can sign up here in Canada through our store. The rate's slightly different to compensate for the exchange. But yeah, they're not expensive. They're $30 for an hour, and you get all sorts of opportunity to ask questions. Wear your Isabel Kramer sweater and come and join us. Sign up. They're really a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's right. Or work on an Isabel Kramer sweater while you're watching, which is what I'm going to do because that's
Right.
yet another languishing whip in my vast project pile.
Yeah.
All right, and then we are doing one more kind of interesting thing this month. Again, because it's Christmas in July, and because in our last year's Advent box, there was this very popular project. We did a Christmas stocking. We broke it out over several days, and so this July we're launching the Christmas stocking pattern. We'll put it up on our online store, and we're creating kits for it. And if you buy a kit, you will be invited to a 3-week check-in, kind of like a conversation about how is your stocking going, and any tips or tricks that we might have on knitting your Christmas stocking, how to hang it, those kinds of things. We'll be doing that this month, and so I'll put that in the show notes. But get some more information about our Christmas stocking knit-along, and then you'll be right in the Christmas in July mode, and you'll get a great Christmas stocking. You'll probably want to do one a month until Christmas.
Yes, that's a fun thing, Cynthia. You know what? We had the 4-day knit along last night. We had everybody on Zoom, and it was so much fun to see all of people from different parts of the country and to see their progress too. Everybody held up their sweaters. So I envision that the Christmas stocking is going to be something like that, where you can show us your progress, do different color combos. We're using Epic yarn because it's such a great, colorful yarn. We've got some super Christmas colors, and we'd love to put a kit together for you. And I think the pattern you're gifting with the kit, is that right, Cynthia?
Yeah, so the kit will contain four balls of Epic in custom colors that we've picked especially for you, and we will package up the pattern along with the kit, so you'll get that free of charge. You will also be able to buy just the pattern online if you want to participate and do a Christmas stocking in July. You can purchase the pattern on our online store, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Can you have you anybody asked about putting together double kits if they want to knit an extra stocking or two? It might be nice to have 2 balls of every color.
Certainly, people could buy doubles. That's no problem at all. But I think you will have some leftovers from the first kit, so you might want to buy 2 balls of 2 different colors. So maybe what we could do is create the 4 kits and then suggest some add-ons if you wanted to create some other color combinations. But
Yes, it'd be fun.
I love the symmetry of having, a stocking, like a his and hers stocking or a hers and hers stocking or a family set of stockings, and they're all the same but different. Yeah. And our pattern, our Christmas stocking pattern is kind of cool, I think, in that you and I designed it so that people could have different options at each portion. So the topper of the stocking has an option A and an option B, and then the second part of the stocking has an option A and an option B, and the leg.
Okay, don't tell everybody all of the details.
I
You gotta
won't.
keep it a surprise.
I just want people to know that you could probably create 6 or 8 different combinations just going through the different options in the stocking.
Yes, yeah. There's lots to it. So
Mhm.
if you're worried that it's just going to be a simple Christmas stocking, think again. Cynthia's been involved. There's lots of detail to it.
Are you saying I overcomplicate things?
No, no, no. I wouldn't let you do that.
All
All
right.
right. So what speaking of that, we also have an announcement about Advent.
Yes. Yes. You go ahead and make the announcement.
Well, a lot of you have been asking, when is the Advent box coming out? When's it coming out? Well, we're going to put it out right away. And what we're doing is we're pre-selling it. It helps us this year, especially with what's been going on, have the funds in order to buy all the supplies that go into the box. It's a big box, you guys. They weigh about 4 pounds or 2.2 kilos, so they're quite large, and they get shipped out around the end of October, beginning of November. We want to make sure that you've got them in time for Christmas, lots of time. All the details are going to be on our website. We've got a product up there called the 2020 Advent Box. So check out our website, go and take a look, and it'll give you all the details. Whether you live in Canada or you live in Edmonton and you want to pick your box up locally, you can do that, or we'll ship out all over North America. So now's your chance to get something to do that's really fun in December. Each day you'll have a new little treat or a little instruction on something to make, knit, or crochet, and it'll all be Christmas themed.
Yes, and Barb, I think we just received an email really recently from someone who bought the Advent box for the last 2 years, and she was saying how much she enjoyed it. She said, there are these other boxes out there that are 24 mini skeins, but she really liked the variety and the projects that were incorporated in our Advent box. Hey,
Yeah, yeah, because and this year won't be any different. I mean, we all are looking for something to do. I know some days in the year before last, I felt like we even maybe had too many projects because I didn't get to all of them. But I love the way this one was structured in that every about third or fourth day, I had some new instructions coming in. I could keep working on the stocking, and at the end, at Christmas time, I had something that I could hang on the mantle. So that was really a lot of fun.
and we're keeping up with that theme. We have some really cool projects in there, and some that will be a little bit longer, so you can work on them over a few days. And
Hmm.
it's a really nice theme. So much fun to plan and to pick all the items that go into the Advent box, especially the treats, because it's really important that we try out those treats before we put them in the box, right?
Absolutely. So we have to buy 50 extra just for you.
Oh man. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about some other new things. We got a new shipment, and I'll insert the little video here that you
Yeah.
sent me.
You want to keep going though on whips?
Oh yeah, I'm
Would you like
sorry.
to
Yes.
see a few more? Because I've got mine here and it's warming my lap, so I need to get rid of it. So I've been waiting patiently to show you. I've been working on this Afghan. Remember I told you about all the blue yarn I had in my stash? It's kind of my favorite color. So I've been pulling it all together doing this Afghan. And here it is. I'll put a picture up of it later. But this is kind of my feather and fan pattern. Look how wide it is, Cynthia.
Oh, that's beautiful, Barb.
So I'm just using blues, navies, and yellows, and I am just loving this. I think there's 350 stitches in a row, so it takes a little while to get through, but it's so much fun to do that it's gone so quickly. I think I must have about 8 or 9 of these at home, all different colors. I have a white
Oh,
one. I have a red one with reds and oranges, and now I didn't have a blue one though, so this is my blue one. And
I
I
got
think
some.
next is coming grays.
Oh, I got some feedback from a viewer saying that they were very inspired with the blanket that you showed last time. That was, I think it was red that you were working on, and
Oh,
it was just straight back and forth. So
mhm.
I'm pretty sure we'll have a lot of inspired people when they see this one.
Oh,
That's very
thanks. Yeah, I just love them. I think that is such a great thing to do. You know, they're so practical too. Blankets can be used to snuggle on the couch with, or you could make little ones for baby cribs, or they make great gifts.
Speaking of blankets, we were just talking the other day about how we're kind of anticipating that there might be a baby boom in November, because
Yes,
that's 9 months from when we started to all be self-quarantining and staying home and staying in place. So if you're anticipating that, there might be a new addition to the family coming up in November, maybe now is a good time to start working on baby blankets. And
that's
so we
great. We're planning projects, Cynthia. I've been looking at little top-down sweaters for little babies and baby blankets, and so I think we should have a few new designs and product offerings coming this fall.
Yay, that'll be fun. It's always so much
Mhm.
fun to knit things for little people because
It
but
is.
your blanket's a great idea, Barb. It's a real good stash buster. Are you using lots of different yarns in it?
Absolutely. That's the whole thing behind it is, some of my favorite parts are where I'm taking like 2 or 3 lace weight yarns and mohairs and laces and folding them together. It feels amazing because a lot of them are like silks and things that I'm never going to knit a silk shawl. I don't know why I bought all that silk yarn in lace weight, but as a blanket, you bet. I just love combining. And now, I totally get it why Shibui combines all these yarns because you can make your own fabric that's just amazing.
Hmm. That's right. Yeah. You just make a swatch. If you've got a lot of lace weight yarns, make a swatch and see what kind of gauge you get, and then find a pattern for it. Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And in one section, I actually took, like I was using blues and then switching to yellows and making actual striped sections that were very different from one another. And then I started doing some blending or some marling. And so this piece up here is holding yellow and blue together. And I'm loving how that looks. It's going to be right in the center of the piece. So how much fun is that where you can kind of create your own look, your own marling,
That's
and then
totally
it's
cool.
feather and fan, which is my all-time favorite pattern. Always has
Yeah.
been.
Beautiful. All right. Have you got any more whips hanging out there with you?
Hmm. Not that I can show, just ones for the Advent box.
Ooh, okay. So those are under wraps
Yeah.
still. Okay.
But what
Uh,
I do have, Cynthia, is I do have the next boredom box project idea. Would you
oh,
like to hear about that?
absolutely. Show us that, Barb.
Okay. We have a little wristlet pattern that we use to teach people how to knit lace in a very simple way. And it's called Queen Vicky's wristlets. And so it's knitting lace flat, back and forth. And it's so much fun because in one evening, you can get one of these little wristlets done. You do it out of a fingering weight yarn or something. You could even use thicker yarn. It would just end up being a little bit bigger. You could do it on smaller needles. So you can really do it out of just about anything. But we like to do it out of things that are luxurious. So cashmere blends, yak blends, alpaca blends, things that are fun. So we put together 2 balls of a cashmere blend that we have in the shop called Lang Cash Soft. And so here's an example of 2 colorways that we've teamed up. This is teal and mauve. And so we've got 2 balls so that you can do 2 pairs, maybe one for you and one for a gift. And we're including the pattern and some fun little treats to go along with it, and some inspiration. So when you get this little box, it's a nice little project that you can dig into right away and, do something productive, keep you amused and your hands busy hands during this time.
This would also make a really nice Christmas present too. Like they're beautiful lacy gloves, so that you can wear them in the fall. They're not too hot, but because of their construction, they fit really nicely over top of a pair of, say, leather gloves to dress them up. So it's kind of like a 3-season project. Hey.
That's right. So we've in the box we've created some custom names for them, so they give you a hint as to what color might be inside without giving the whole thing away. So we've created some new names for them. So you'll look for these to come out in the next week or so, and pick one up.
That's a great idea. I think it's kind of nice to just allow a little aura of mystery to helping you relieve any kind of boredom or anxiety that you might be feeling. And it's nice that it comes packaged up in a cute little box and everything too.
Yeah.
Good job, Barb.
Yeah, it's fun.
Barb is our chief boredom buster at River City Yarns.
Yeah, well, we work on everything together. Behind the scenes, Cynthia's finding me patterns on Ravelry and doing extensive searches. So, yeah, it's definitely a team effort. But it is fun. You have to admit, putting together colors of cashmere to create something fun and beautiful to work with, what better job could there be, really?
Right. And on that topic, Barb, this just segues so nicely into Flashmob. Because that's something that is a boredom buster also. We've been working on Flashmob with the sense that we would pair up. This year we're pairing up each yarn offering with a book, a classic book, something that in a lot of cases it's something that's really inspirational from your childhood. And this month on July 20th, we're coming out with the book.
That's right. The book is, can you see this?
Yes.
Treasure Island. So this is a classic. All of our theme is all about classic books or books that have been out for a long time. And in Treasure Island, we were captivated by this map of the island. And so we sent this one. We thought that the best dye artist in Canada for this one, because it was sort of a map, black ink, on parchment paper. We thought, ooh, let's ask Julie Aslin if she could do this one. Well, Cynthia, Julie hit it out of the park. I present to you Ilu Trésor, Treasure Island. I probably really pooched that in French, but this yarn is just gorgeous. This is kind of I want to say a parchment paper or a taupe background with black and gray speckles running all the way through it. Here's another one. Each one is slightly different. They have a different amount of speckle and stripe, but this is Julie's Pheno base. And it feels amazing. Pheno is such a beautiful yarn. We carry it in way too many colors, but that's because we're so obsessed with this. If you would like, we haven't totally nailed the pattern yet that we're going to suggest to go with this. I mean, you could knit a scarf out with it, or you could use 2 for a shawl. We've even seen some sweaters that use 3 skeins of Pheno that are really fun. Or you could team it with a solid color. We have some beautiful solids in the shop right now that I think would go nicely with this. So if you need recommendations, we'll probably put some up on the website with this. But this goes on sale July 20th at 6 p.m. And we have a very limited number. Julie didn't dye quite as many as we wanted. So if you would like to get some of this, stay tuned, set an alarm on your watch or your iPhone for July 20th, 6 p.m., and we'll get some out to you. It's gorgeous.
It's the last few months. Well, actually, this year, there's the sellout rate on our Flashmob has been, sometimes less than 24 hours. And so if you do want it, it really is important to get in there as quickly as possible. Can you tell us, Barb, what's the fiber content of Julie Aslan Fino?
Yeah, it's your standard merino cashmere nylon. She's got a little bit more cashmere. There's 15%. Or sorry, there's no nylon. It's 10% silk, 15 cashmere, and 75 merino. It feels beautiful.
It's gorgeous. So soft and silky. Yeah.
So this is Treasure Island. And pick up a copy of the book, too, if you can. We have just a small amount of them. And we also gift one to everybody who enters or who buys a skein of this. We do a little contest. And the other thing I meant to say is that Diane from Brick Bubble is designing buttons that go with this. So we'll also send you one of her souvenir buttons too.
Really nice. Yeah. So after Flashmob is over for the month, we draw a name from all the people who purchased a skein and gift that person with a book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's right.
And the books themselves are hardcover editions. They're kind of classic printing editions. Some of them come with a little ribbon bookmark in them as well, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one has one. You can kind of see it. Yeah, they're very nicely bound and made.
Yeah,
and great classic stories too. I mean, who doesn't want to read a great classic story, right? You probably read this in grade 6 or grade 8, but now you get to read it again.
Yes.
Too much fun.
I'm looking forward to sharing, Long John Silver with Rachel and Hayden. It's yes. So much fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
And then after you read the book, you can knit yourself a bandana.
Okay, so we've got a new shipment from Peru that people have been waiting and waiting for.
Oh my God, Cynthia! I got into the shop today and I had to take some pictures because we got 17 huge boxes from Peru. We've been waiting for these for months, and our friends in Peru tried to ship about a month and a half ago, and then their country got completely closed down with another quarantine. So it's been awful trying to get yarn from South America. A lot of our suppliers are completely sold out of specific colors and things. So we're just thrilled now that the people in Peru are able to get back to work, and we hope that everybody stays healthy there and they can get back to normal really quickly. So for us, it means that we've got brand new colors of El Rio. El Rio is our new alpaca yarn, and I brought a few today to have a look at. I think we got 12 colors, Cynthia, but I didn't have time to unpack all of them today, so I brought about 4. So the first 2, and you can just see how drapey and heavy this is. This is 100% baby alpaca. And this one's called Lilac, I believe. Yes, this is Lilac, and it's just a beautiful purple. This is sort of a melange too. You can see there's pink in here and some cream and just a beautiful mix of different tonalities. 100 grams, 200 meters. They recommend about a 3.75 to a 4.5 millimeter needle. You could go larger though if you were doing a scarf or something lacy. This one El Rio is called Rose. And this has beautiful tones in it. It's got some peaches and some yellows and some corals and blue. Very pretty. We'll get Aya to photograph these and put them up on our website with her good camera so we can get a good sense of what they look like. And then here are a couple greens. This one's called Juniper, and it really is a dark juniper green. I think this would be great to wear in to do some color work, or to, put in hats or mitts, gloves. I really think this is perfect for accessories. Not sure about sweaters, but maybe if they were stranded. This one is called Soft Sage. And it's just a beautiful green that's got a little bit of yellow, sort of a gray undertone to it. And feels amazing. So yeah, look for those. And then we also got restocked on Epic. We've been out of Epic for a long time in a couple of colors. So for those of you who want to do the Laurentian blanket and some of the patterns that we've got with the grays and the whites, they're now back in stock.
Oh, that's great, Barb. Yeah. So we still have a bit of unpacking to do.
We do. Yes. Unpacking and getting it up on the website. The other thing that came in just this morning that I thought I'd bring out and show you was a restock from Handmaiden, Cynthia. They restocked us on some colors that we were low of Adam and Eve and Eden, and some of our gradient kits. So in there's also a brand new color. So I brought it to show you. Remember last month we had Willow?
Yes.
Which is just a gorgeous green. We got more of it in. This is another, it went so quickly that Jana made us more Willow. And this is the new color. This is called Magenta. And I'm just thrilled about this one because it's such a happy color. It's got different shades of pinks and purples in it. This is in the Adam and Eve base, and we've got it in Eden as well. I think Jana ran out of Adam and Eve base. She's waiting for more to come in, so we may not have a whole lot of these, but there'll be more coming as the season progresses. And then I brought a couple more because every time Jana dyes this, the colors are slightly different, right? So here is Red Fox. For those of you who know this yarn, you'll know this colorway too because it's one of our most popular. It's got grays in it and golds and reds and oranges. Totally Red Fox. And then this one, this is Desert Flower. And it's so pretty. When you talked about baby blankets and things, I thought about this one. This one's so pretty. To make a beautiful shawl too. And we have semi-solids too. You could combine this with River or one of the other shades if you wanted to do some striping or a border of some kind. So that's it.
Oh, Barb, that's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm so jealous that you're there squeezing the yarn. And
I know, isn't it great?
It is. That's perfect. So yeah, so lots of new stuff. We'll put links in the show notes. A reminder too that if you want to get in on Flashmob and you don't want to forget about it or miss it, to sign up for our newsletter, because we send out a little reminder via our newsletter when you're to remind you about Flashmob and what time it's going on, with some photographs as well. And we'll have some inspiration in there too. Barb, I wanted to maybe start a new little feature on our podcast episodes and just kind of review some of the comments that we received on our last podcast.
Mhm.
So let me just take a minute and read to you one of these comments that I thought was really nice. It's Shirley Beard, and she says, "It's great to see you both. I'm so impressed with all that you're doing to provide service and remain connected with your community. I live in the States, but virtual classes and events extend across the border, so no distance doesn't deter participation. Yippee, more Cynthia and Barb. The willow colorway is indeed lovely. Stay well." So I just wanted to say thank you to Shirley for commenting on that. We really do feel like this podcast is our opportunity to reach out and connect with our community. And so we really appreciate that you watch the podcast and that you leave a comment. So what we'd like to do is encourage you all to leave some comments, and each month we'll try to highlight one or maybe more of them, and just say thank you.
And we have a special prize for Shirley too. If she emails me, info@rivercityyarns.com, I've got a special little treat I want to send you, Shirley.
Ah, perfect. Okay. Shirley, send Barb an email. info@rivercityyarns.com.
And thank you to everybody. This is a time where we touched on it a little bit. It can be tough. You can get down. And it's so nice to just spend a couple of hours with someone or with your community and get raised back up. And so I want to, like that to be our mission, is that we hopefully, show you new yarns, talk about things that inspire you and get you back on a positive, in case you are down like me, back to a better place, a more positive place.
That's so true. Thanks, Barb. That's a great way to end. So have a great month, everybody. We'll have some other little videos that will pop up on our YouTube channel. So subscribe and you'll get notification of those. And take care. Stay healthy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.